Hello and welcome back to the Discover Virginia Beach podcast. Today we are joined by a super special guest who wears many hats. But if you're just now tuning into Discover Virginia Beach, I want to share with you what our whole mission is for season 2, and that is to literally discover everything the Virginia Beach area has to offer for both locals and tourists alike. So if you're looking for things to do, things to discover, and go out and explore the area, this episode and this podcast is for you. Today, I'm joined by the owner of Live Body Brave, artistic director of the Feral Showgirls, and lead singer of Rachel and the JellyCats, and also resident in counseling. Rachel, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Joseph. I'm so excited to be here and chat with you today.
Yeah, we are super happy and super glad to have you. Before we dive into your journey as an award-winning dancer, performer, singer, model, and cosplayer from Norfolk, Virginia, would you mind starting off with the genesis? Where are you from originally, and what got you to live, work, and play here in the Virginia Beach area?
Sure. I was born and partially raised outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I think as many of us do, we end up here in this area of Hampton Roads because of jobs and movement. So my family took a job in this area, and I have been here ever since. I would say, my goodness, probably about more than 30 years. So I kind of feel like a native Hampton Roadian at this point, for sure.
I love that. And myself too, especially. I'm not from this area originally, but I've come to know, like, and trust it as an area that really offers so much to do and see and be a part of. And I think it's emphasized greatly in just your type of resume that we see here of all of the different facets of what you do. So Rachel, I'd love to know from you, when did you think that show business was going to be a part of your career? Was it something in your early life? Was it something you saw in a movie or read in a book? Tell us more about what inspired or brought on that a journey for you.
Sure. It certainly wasn't a part of my younger life, certainly not my younger self. For a really long time, as a younger person, I didn't really have a focus. I was kind of having trouble figuring out where I fit in, what was fun for me, what I was passionate about. And I'm sure many people have experienced that, where do I belong? And it took a lot of difficult journeys and ending of relationships and just being in actually a really hard place in my life that I finally realized that what difference does it make what I try? What are the options here? I might fail, but I might also really have fun. So quite a few years back, I made a commitment to myself to say yes to anything that both interested me and excited me. And I sort of began that journey with belly dance. I was a student, and then I continued on taking classes in stand-up comedy and burlesque and all kinds of different performing arts, and began emceeing shows simply because I couldn't afford to pay somebody. So all of that sort of culminated into understanding this thing about myself that I love to be on stage. I love entertaining. It is one of my greatest joys to bring fun and excitement and delight to people because we need it. Life is hard. We need a little outlet. And so here I am. Yeah.
Rachel, I love that. And your story is so inspiring, especially for our viewers who may not be in their 20s anymore. I mean, a lot of times, when you're younger, quote, right? When you're super young, you figure it out and then you live the rest of your life with your figured out plan. But for a lot of our listeners who are not in that range, still have an opportunity to go out and explore and discover new things that they might have not originally tried, whether that's coming to the Virginia Beach area permanently or just for a vacation. So Rachel, with that said, I'd love to know from you, when you started your exploration journey through, the belly dance and burlesque, what specifically stood out to you as one of the one or two traits that you're like, hey, this is why, or the parts of it that really interest and excite me?
Sure. I think it was the ability to express myself in a way that I hadn't been able to. And also the connection that's available to myself and others. As a performer and even as an audience member, we have a relationship, we create a connection, we're having an experience together. And that was a connectedness that I hadn't found in other areas of my life. And it really inspired me. And I noticed it inspired other people. And that, I think, is one of the things that's so important to me in the work that I do now. I want someone to see me on stage and say, oh my gosh, she's doing it. Why can't I do it? That's
Yeah,
such a wonderful feeling.
absolutely. Just to be an
Yes.
example for others to,
Yeah.
explore themselves and then also just entertain and have a good time. Life's stressful enough, right?
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, and Rachel, I know you've had conversations with WHRO, Coast in the Morning, Living 757, Outwire Magazine, just to name a few, and have shared this journey with us before. But for our viewers who may not have been a part of that conversation quite yet, would you mind walking us through the transformation from this is a hobby to, oh my gosh, I'm really passionate, and I also want to teach and do this and provide it as an event and an outlet for others?
Sure. It was kind of challenging because let's be realistic. If we're thinking of the area that we live in, the first thing that comes to mind isn't necessarily a professional performer, right? This may not be the first thing people think about Virginia Beach, but that's exactly not true. There is room and space for any type of career here, which is one of the most wonderful things about the area. There's so much life, so much culture, so much vibrancy. And I recognize that in my teaching and in my performance, I was really connecting with people on an emotional level and really helping people through difficult challenges. And with that understanding, I decided to pursue my licensed professional counselor licensure through school. And I'm able to combine those things, combine performance, combine teaching classes, combine dance, and combine mental health therapy into something that is a sustainable and fulfilling career.
I love that. And especially too, and just to touch on this as well. So Rachel, you are a resident in mental health counseling, and that seems like that's been pretty important to you of not only for yourself, but also enabling others to see the best of themselves. Would you mind sharing more about kind of what led you on this journey to now go and discover and educate yourself in that way?
Absolutely. I had recognized in the dance classes I was teaching that many of my students were coming to dance class because they were going through transitions in their lives. Maybe they've just moved here from someplace else. My goodness, shout out to the Navy, right? We have a huge Navy community and people moving in and out all the time. And I was providing a community that people could enter, even if they were strangers, and they could leave with friends. So I was providing that space, and people who were empty nesters, or people who just got married, or people who were divorced, people going through big life transitions were coming to me for dance class. And I saw the ways that they were developing their self-esteem, developing their self-confidence, developing even their ideas of self-worth and value through dance. And I wanted to do more of that. And I thought by being a mental health counselor, I could support those needs in a way even greater than I was just teaching dance class. So it's really been quite a journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're not, and I don't want to say just a dance teacher, because that involves a whole lot. I mean, there's lots of wonderful volunteers
Sure.
At the rec centers that teach dance classes and stuff. But you have gone an extra step in getting certified and licensed to not only be a mental health advocate, but also educate people who may have experienced addictions before, as well as being a facilitator. And I believe also you've as a sex educator as well. Would you mind telling us a little bit more about that particular niche in general and how that kind of intertwined itself with the dance classes?
Absolutely. Dance is in our bodies. Sex education is related to our bodies. And I recognized a need for people to have the space for frank and candid and compassionate discussions about their bodies and their own needs related to intimacy and sex. And I could provide that in a way that felt not scary, and provide it in a way that felt really supportive. So it's really one of my joys is especially helping women learn more about their bodies, understand their bodies. And the more knowledge we have, the more power we have. And the more power we have, the more confidence we have. And I think we all need that in every area, not just the bedroom, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just having a place to talk about it. Recently, we featured a avid hiker who partners with individuals who may be experiencing trauma. It's called Girl Hike, and in her journey, she shared with us on another episode, which I encourage everyone to go and listen to it. It was a great conversation. But just having an outlet for community to come together and to have those conversations in a safe space. And I understand too, you are the only burlesque and belly dance focused studio in the Hampton Roads area. Kudos to you. Congratulations. And then also, for maybe somebody who doesn't know what that all entails, would you mind walking me through a typical experience that someone might expect to have on their first visit to a class with you?
Sure, absolutely. So it's pretty funny because once you walk into my studio, it's just like a glitter and sparkle and color extravaganza. So I think just initially you're seeing all that and feeling all of that and seeing that you're in a place that's maybe a little bit different than other places you've been. And a typical class would really include, we do a wonderful warm up, and we learn different topics and we learn choreographies and go through different kinds of movements and even music knowledge, musicality, talking about costuming, makeup, movements, all kinds of things, and a lot of giggling too, of course, a lot of fun and a lot of camaraderie ship that happens within the group. In each class, really, it's amazing. People have made some of their best friends that they've ever had just by meeting them in the dance class, so it doesn't just provide a dance class space, it provides connection, community, confidence building, and friendship too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that studio, of course, I'll put all of the links that you have going on in the show notes below. But it's called hypnoticbellydancing.com, correct? And where's your studio located, and what type of classes do you offer?
Sure. The studio's in Chesapeake, so we're located there just in terms of teaching, but we go everywhere, so don't worry. And we currently teach belly dance classes for all levels, and we teach burlesque for all levels. So those are our two main offerings right now.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, Rachel, alongside the studio, you also are the manager of the Feral Showgirls. I mean, talk about a show-stopping name right there. Congratulations on that. I love that. So you're a traveling production company featuring performers of all types, from burlesque and burlesque to dance and beyond. Would you mind telling us more about the Feral Showgirls and the work that you do at some really cool places like Moxie, Keegan's, Scandals, and Elevation 27?
Absolutely. Yeah. So once I sort of became a teacher and got a little bit more into performing, we were really getting a lot of gigs, right? People wanted fun, people wanted performance. And I didn't have enough of me. There was only one of me. So I had to figure out how I could start collecting some other amazing people. And that's how the Feral Showgirls became what it is. I started gathering people who could do these different types of things. And that's one of the things I appreciate so much about our group is actually, as of speaking right now, we have 45 members and they do anything you can think of. I mean, we have pole dancers, we have aerial dancers, we have comedians, we have acrobats, we have contortionists, we have belly dancers, burlesque dancers, boylesque dancers, anything you can think of, we have. And I just love that we're able to provide a time and a place for people to just sit and have fun and think of nothing but what they're seeing. We don't have to think about the outside world. We don't have to think about all the junk going on in the world. We don't have to think about stress at work. We just get to have fun. And yeah, we've had some spectacular experiences through all of Virginia Beach. Just recently did a show at the Moxie Hotel at the oceanfront, which was just one of the best nights we've ever had. We're going to be back there again for New Year's Eve, actually. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, no, it's just spectacular. Yeah.
Yeah, we are super pumped. And I think I've actually lined up a conversation with Moxie Hotel coming in with season 2. So we'll definitely be connecting those dots for those of you who are wondering, like, where is there to stay in Virginia Beach that's not traditional? Moxie is one of those very unique hotel experiences that I definitely recommend you check out. So
They have a slide, you know.
and they have a slide too, and lots of non-traditional beach colors and themes to their rooms. It's incredible. Yeah. So excited to share more about that. And excited to check out the New Year's event. When it comes to the community in general, Rachel, I know you've mentioned this before. It brings people together in the classroom. And also being the only studio that offers this in Hampton Roads, I'm sure you have come in contact with a lot of feedback from the community, some positive and maybe some negative. Would you mind sharing how the community and its response has really shaped the way in which you perform and do your business?
Sure. I would say I'm going to knock on wood. I haven't really had a lot of negative feedback. I think that people who engage with us or who seek us out, they are looking for something that's a little bit more, that's a little bit different, that's interesting and exciting, and maybe not run of the mill. And, we're all of those things. We're interesting and exciting and different, and maybe something people haven't seen before. That's what I've really heard from the community is our representation is something that's really important. That's important to me. I want to be able to represent all types of people, all sizes, all body shapes, every type of person, so that people feel seen, people feel understood and heard as they are. And that's really been the greatest feedback I've received, is that we're inclusive and representative and fun. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for sharing everything that you have going on, both at the and I want to make sure I'm getting the name correctly here, the Hypnotic Belly Dancing Studio, and then also with the Feral Showgirls. Would you mind diving with us just a tad bit deeper? I'd love to know, are there any memorable events or possibly any costume malfunctions or funny stories you'd like to share with us? Because as they say in show business, break a leg and the show must go on. So I'm sure there might be some funny stories down there. Share with us anything that might have happened that really stands out to you.
I mean, the costume malfunctions are true. You're absolutely right. So we always say that's sort of a rite of passage for the new performers. You're gonna have something fly off that you didn't anticipate flying off. That's for sure. I think some of the funnest things that we have done and some of the funnest stories relate to bringing audience members up on stage. People get really excited, and we love to do something called dance roulette. And people will come up on stage from the audience, and they will dance to a song that the DJ has randomly selected.
Oh, okay.
It's fantastic. I mean, I have seen everything, and he's my husband, the DJ Paul. He will pick the most hilarious songs for people, and so that is just hysterical. Another thing that we do, which always makes me laugh, is people love to get spankings. So we give spankings at our intermission, and people tend to line up for that, which always surprises me because I'm not sure I would, but they seem to like it. So yes, we have a big paddle that says Feral Showgirls.
There you go. Hashtag Feral Showgirls, hashtag spankings, all of the fun stuff, all of the things to get you plugged in to a fun event and plugged out of everything else and the mess going on around.
Exactly.
So for those people who might be interested to learning more, Rachel, would you mind giving us I'm picturing here, like if we were, looking on your website and checking out some of the characters and some of the different types of theme you have, would you mind sharing some examples of what type of different flavors people might be able to participate in if they were to check out an event like yours?
Sure. We try to do themes because it's exciting for people to be able to dress up and sort of fit in a theme. We actually have all kinds of wonderful things coming up. We have a Western show, so an Old West show coming up where everybody can show up in their cowboy hats and cowboy boots. We have a Hogwarts Castle event, so everybody can dress up as their favorite Harry Potter characters. We have Disney events. We have actually this weekend, we're performing different songs from musicians who passed away. It's called Heavenly Concert. So we have so many different things for so many different people, tons of Halloween, always, even not in Halloween, because Halloween shouldn't just be one day a year, in my opinion. I think it should be more. So we have something for everyone.
Yeah. Absolutely. We were recently talking with Escape to Win, also being featured in season 2, and they were showing me their horror themed room, the attic, which if you definitely go and check out that episode. But I was asking them, I was like, do you guys do like Christmas themed escape rooms? They're like, no, people in Hampton Roads want scary all year round. So absolutely agree with you there. And definitely the community does as well. So let us know in the comment section below if there's any certain themes you want to see more of. I'm sure Rachel would love to take a look at them, as well as for me too, and what guests you might like to have, because there's always something a little bit fun about the spooky in general. So yeah. Rachel, that leads us on to our last section here, our rapid fire section. These questions are quick and fast, like rapid fire. I don't think I have your audio. Oh, it just cut back on. Sorry.
Okay.
So these questions are quick and fast, rapid fire. You can answer with as much or as little detail as you want. Are you ready? All right.
We'll see. All right.
First, we'll keep it nice and simple. Your most favorite type of dance class to teach?
Burlesque. Absolutely.
If you had to eliminate a certain dance style or theme that just is not your favorite or maybe too overdone, which one would it be and why?
I don't think so. I don't think there's one that I would eliminate, because I want to see everything. I want to see it all. I want to experience everything everyone has to offer. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. If you could perform a show anywhere in the world, which show would you perform? Where would you perform and why?
Oh my goodness. That's a big question. I mean, I wouldn't be lying if I said I would like to do some kind of huge, glitzy, glamorous, sparkle-covered Las Vegas show. I think that would be number one on my bucket list. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta love the Vegas shows. Absolutely. And then, Rachel, if you could resurrect or bring back somebody from another time to dance along with or produce a show with, who would it be?
I think I have to can I answer more than one person? Because I don't think I can just pick one person.
Your top 3. Let's hear your top 3.
Nina Simone.
Okay.
Joan Rivers. Madeline Kahn.
Love it. Love it. And to be frank, I don't know who those people are. Would you mind giving me a snapshot of who that first person is? And I do apologize, but tell us more. Who is this first person you recommended?
So Nina Simone is a singer and an activist, and one of the most glorious musicians, not just musicians, but people we've ever, I think, had. One of my very favorite songs is Feeling Good. And her rendition of Feeling Good is truly one of my most just cherished songs. So if anybody here doesn't know Nina Simone, look her up right away, because she's going to be your new favorite person. Joan Rivers, I think we know Joan Rivers, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then Madeline Kahn, who is one of my favorite comedians in the history of time. You can see her in most all of Mel Brooks movies from the 60s and 70s. Young Frankenstein is one of the best ones, so I would highly recommend. But just a fantastic singer, a fantastic actor, a fantastic comedian. She has it all. She's done it all. Truly a goddess. Yeah.
Love it. And with that said, I know you got to get back to work and planning shows. So Rachel, we really appreciate your time. This is your time of the show. We'd love to roll out the red carpet for you. Please share any special events, anything that you want to promote regarding your business. The floor is all yours.
Gosh, thank you so much. And thank you for having me on this amazing interview. We have so much coming up. I'm so excited. We have some wonderful Feral Showgirls events. Actually, almost every single weekend we have an event. We have shows at least once a month at 37th and Zen. You can check out our social media at Facebook or our website, feralshowgirls.com. We have some fantastic events coming up with my band, Rachel and the JellyCats. We're very excited to be performing at Bench Top Brewing's anniversary party. We're going to be debuting at Creek Bar. And we have that fantastic show at Keegan's coming up, which is in December. That is a full burlesque and live music extravaganza. We have New Year's Eve at Moxie, which is just going to be fantastic. We have performances all night and a dance party. You can check out the band on Facebook, Instagram, or Rachel and the JellyCats.com. And my new upcoming classes, I have a new burlesque session starting for January. It's very limited. It's 10 weeks. And at the end, you get to perform. And you can find all that information on my own website, which is rachelmicheletti.com.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Rachel, thank you for everything you do for the community and allowing us to be able to have fun, express ourselves, and to also just hang out and just kind of tune out what's going on in the rest of the world and just have a good time. With that being said, thank you all for listening to this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please feel free to fill out a review wherever you listen to this podcast or this video. Go ahead and hit the like button. Check out the show notes down below to see everything that Rachel has going on. And we hope to catch you all in another episode very soon.